up. Ah, what? Turn me up to this beach. You get it? Oh, you coming in?
Yeah.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear me.
Yeah. Okay.
You got the music on there. You got to talk. All right. There's 159.
Dang, dying.
Crazy. I ain't know they could hear. Good afternoon and welcome to season 5, episode 22 of the Leaders Only digital show and podcast. I am Samash,
And I'm your host, Kendall.
and we're brought to you today by What a Change Mentoring and Tone Drone. In today's episode, we'll take a look at a few stories being talked about in the media today. Please invite your friends to check out our Leaders Only show. Have a watch party, subscribe to our channel, share it, like it, hit the bell, comment below. And if you're watching our live stream later, and it's not live, excuse me, then that's okay. Hit the pound replay next to it in the comments and just let us know that you were here. We really appreciate your support. We're going to jump right into the first story today. The secret camera found in Cristo Rey High School locker room. When cataloging items Bustos left at the school, they found the secret camera containing hundreds of video files. Investigators said the camera's memory card included a video that showed Bustos installing the camera inside a locker, then locking it shut. According to the criminal complaint against Bustos, there were also videos of minor age students in their undergarments undressing in the locker room. Now, let's watch that video and get back to our thoughts.
This was the scene Friday morning at Cristo Rey Jesuit High School's board meeting.
It makes us sad, it makes us angry, the fact that they're minimizing this situation.
They only heard our concerns. They never tried to answer our questions.
The meeting ended in an early dismissal for students. Many were already walking out and getting picked up by their parents just before noon.
It hurts just how they just broke our trust like that.
This comes days after former security coordinator Fernando Bustos was charged with invasion of privacy. He is accused of hiding cameras inside the girls' locker room.
We don't want to know those things. We want to know clarification.
Parents say they're upset. They only learned what happened this week, after Bustos was charged. That's nearly 2 weeks after the school called police about the hidden cameras, and nearly 1 year after prosecutors say Bustos started recording.
This is a tremendously difficult time for our community.
School president Andrew Stith says they were trying to balance informing families and preserving the investigation.
We're doing our best to keep our parents informed in the midst of an active criminal investigation, and we're working with police. We're working, as best we can with all of the folks that are involved in this issue.
Stith said no red flags popped up in Bustos' hiring, and the school followed all state and local requirements.
Will students or parents get an apology from the school?
We are very sorry that this has all happened, right?
And yeah, man, as you can see, Bustos, he had the camera set up, but he passed the background checks. He went through the normal processing and he didn't draw a red flag. I'll let you kick off your thoughts, bro, and just see how you feel about it. It's pretty self-explanatory for me.
It's yeah, like I was about to say the same thing. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's a creepish move. kind of disgusting. But it's kind of repeatatory. You know what I'm saying? It continues to happen. Um, I can't really say how what the school could do better as far as security because I mean it wasn't no red flags. They say it wasn't no. He passed everything he was supposed to pass. So I mean, you never know what a creep is thinking. But yeah, it's pretty much self-explanatory. It's no nothing I really could say besides I hope he get the proper discipline he's supposed to get, and they get the justice and apologies and really listen to the children and what they're saying and how they feel.
Yeah, I would also say, uh this is why I advocate for homeschooling. You know what I mean? This is
Hmm.
why I advocate for us, having communities, starting out with our families and, there being some type of status quo to where going outside of us and our homeschooling looks like looks abnormal opposed to going into these schools looks just like the norm. It being a religious based school is what's really drawing a red flag for me, and what makes it sad because most of the time parents send their children to these religious schools or private schools, for extra care. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times in public schools we don't get the resources. A lot of the teachers there don't have the time to give your child an intimate setting because the classes are much bigger. In this case, it draws a red flag now because those intimate settings could be with somebody who's not healed, who's in their mind maybe sick. This is a form of mental illness. As you said, I do pray that they get the justice that they deserve, but I also pray that they get the help, because this may stem from an act that he's seen, you know what I mean, or something that might have been, placed or done to him, and that person might have got away with it. So he's reenacting it. Lastly, I would just say, each day, if you can, talk to your children.
There
It's
you
something
go.
that you
Have a
should do. I can't
conversation.
tell you. Yeah, I can't tell you what to do with your children, but I would just suggest, as we continue to say, for multiple reasons, to just like you would say to a lover or somebody that you interested in when you call them on the phone when your child come home. How are
Hmm.
you doing today? How was your day? What did y'all do? Did anything happen? Is there any weird interactions? Anybody make you feel uncomfortable? In what way did they make you feel uncomfortable? Carving out that time, being intentional with carving out that time just to have, basic interaction and conversation about your day with your child is important, just as important as it is to have that conversation with your partner, which is why, we got to get back to, family dinner, eating dinner together, because those were the places back in the day where those type of things could come up. You would be eating at the dinner
Yeah.
table, and then you can have those conversations. So I would just suggest that now. There wasn't nothing that the school could possibly probably do leading into it, but now here's an opportunity that you can always grow from. You know what I mean? To where,
Hmm.
hey, if nobody acting funny, then we just gonna have a protocol for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And put them in situations where you do activities or something where you asking questions. You know what I'm saying? And their answers and their body language could possibly be something for you to, okay, maybe this person may not have done it, but they might be on the radar or could do it. So let's be mindful, let's monitor, let's keep them out of situations to where it could be like that. Let's do sweeps. Let's just do sporadic, miscellaneous pop-up sweeps, and let's just make sure there ain't no extra cameras in here and stuff like that. Bring in dogs if you have to, whatever you have to do,
Yeah.
just to make parents feel comfortable again. Because breaking the trust of a parent, is one thing, but then breaking the trust of children is even worse because
Mhm.
now, they have to worry about that. They might have a complex from this, to where they don't want to get undressed again in a locker room or anything like that. It just leaves the door open. So, just as a school and as a business, you know what I'm saying? Now they have to take the proper steps to try to reestablish that trust. me, just being parents and who we are, I just feel like, we have to have more opportunities to look into homeschooling. Even if it's not a big village there, they do offer opportunities for you to do virtual and stuff like that with your child. If you have carved out, remote working for yourself, or if you are an entrepreneur, it's something to look into. I will continue to advocate for homeschooling. All in
Yes,
all,
sir.
uh, continue to send our prayers to the youngsters, because we just want them to have the strength to not let this affect their mental in a way that it
Fact.
turns them away from being successful in their endeavors in school at the moment. So outside of that, please continue to just communicate with the youth.
Yeah, man. And yeah, just like bro said, man, just pay attention to your children, man. So we're gonna dive into the next one, man. It's crazy because it's happening on all levels. Matthew Wise, a former University of Michigan football coach, was indicted for hacking accounts and downloading intimate photos. Wise was charged with 14 counts of unauthorized camera access and 10 counts of identity theft. Let's check the video out.
Former University of Michigan assistant football coach facing federal charges after allegedly targeting female student athletes' computer accounts to obtain their intimate photos without their consent that investigators say he downloaded and took notes commenting on their bodies and sexual preferences. According to the 24-count indictment, Matt Weiss was able to hack into the databases of more than 100 colleges and universities and crack the encryption protecting the passwords, assisted by research that he did on the internet. He allegedly gained access to the personal information of more than 150,000 students, and using that, gained access into social media, email, and cloud storage accounts. Weiss primarily targeted female college athletes, prosecutors say. He researched and targeted these women based on their school affiliation, athletic history, and physical characteristics. His goal was to obtain private photographs and videos never intended to be shared beyond intimate partners. Weiss also previously worked for the Baltimore Ravens. He was fired from Michigan in 2023 after failing to cooperate with.
So, as you're seeing in the video, it was red flags in his case. But you could tell, man, we don't want to drag it on, but we just letting you know that it's happening on all levels. This is the college level. He worked at the professional level. He got fired from there for allegations. Then he went back to the college level for different allegations, and it's creepy behavior again. Once again, that's his breaking the trust of students, breaking the trust of people's privacy and boundaries. Invading people's privacy is creepish to me, always. That's a level of disrespect. This is a place where I know it's college and they're going away from home and they're supposed to be young adults, but they're still supposed to be protected and still supposed to have the rights to their privacy, have the rights to their boundaries, and have the right to know what's going on in their locker room. So that's trifling. And it just shows you again, like I said, it's happening on all levels. Bro, what you think?
Yeah, man, I agree. I often wonder, like, okay, were you thinking of blackmailing them or something, or were you gonna get the pictures and then make a spoof account or say something to them, in private to try to make a move on them? I often wonder, how they feel in doing this if they have daughters themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's just it's just not right. It's nasty, like you said. But above all, it's like, how can you have children, a daughter, a niece, a goddaughter, any of the above, and be looking at somebody else's daughter without the consent, you know what I'm saying? And I will also wonder if he's married, you know what I'm saying? I know that Michigan let him go in 2023, so that's cool. But again, here we go again. We have to have the proper protocols. And these individuals, these coaches, they lead the schools that have to go into types of protocol and standards that they weren't thinking about. So that's a great thing that they do this, because it makes you, have to, go over things that you weren't thinking about. But then it's sad, it sucks on the other end that you even have to do this because these people make you think about that. But one of the one of the closest relationships that you're gonna have in your life, as a child or someone's child, be it young adult or be it grade school, is the relationship that you have with your coaches, head coach, your position coaches. They're like, for a lot of us, they're like father figures. Even if you have fathers, you know what I'm saying, they are uncle or another role model, another father figure, or somebody who you can entrust in to get, advice, to get guidance, to just be protected, like you said. So when you take that away, it puts a strain on relationships with other coaches. Being as though I coach high school, that's one of the main things that I try to do is just continue to establish trust. You know what I'm saying, and to establish a level of understanding between myself and the player, to where they can come to you for anything. When you do this, it now makes a kid who possibly already don't go nowhere or don't go to nobody, for outlet. This throws more, hurdles in the way, um, in you breaking that ice and breaking that shell for that student or that student athlete that's standoffish, or just students in general, young kids or in general, younger adults in general. They make them not want to, just come with a genuine, pure heart to pour out whatever they have going on to us, because they don't know if we're preying on them. So, like you said, and like we said in the story before, no matter if your child is now a young adult, older adult, whatever, continue to ask those questions. You know what I'm saying? Is
Yes,
everything
sir.
okay? What's going on? As far as family members to these coaches and stuff, I would, hey, you gotta do the same thing. How you doing? How you go? What's going on? I would say, I throw a mental health test on everything. So I
Mhm.
believe when you're dealing with when you're dealing with children, be it about to have them, coach them, anything. I just feel like there should just be some type of just a mental health check. You know what I'm saying? Just like some type of mental health checkup. So you can see and just ask all these questions: how they feel, being around young adults, certain situations, would they look. You gotta. It's all in the wording of the question, but to get to
Yes,
the
sir.
bottom of it, I would just, make some type of mental health examination. Not to where it's like the hard, like the SAT, but just a proper protocol, mental health check, just to see where these
Yeah.
men and women heads are.
Same way
Yes.
they do when you get a job.
Yeah.
Same way they do
Yeah.
when you, like I do I go when I had to get my dot card. The same, man, give the evaluation. Make sure your
Yeah.
mental, so you can see. Make sure you ain't
A
down.
mental
Make
health
sure you ain't got
eval.
right. You know what I'm saying? That's what it should be. So that's what we always encourage, man. So as we always do, we continue to encourage you to do your best, be your best, at physically, mentally, emotionally. As the weather is changing, uh, and we going into another different type of climate and season with sometimes respiratory challenges. So we please ask that you take the proper handles in that, and we ask that you stay building your immune system with the proper herbs and proper minerals and things of that nature that you can get from the mental health shelf itself. We ask that you
Yes, indeed.
do things that's gonna make you better. Exercise, travel, whether it be reading, whether it be meditating, whether it be exercise, going in a good environment, whether you're taking a hike, whether you running, taking a bike ride. Samaj is a bike riding champ. Um, Working out, things of that nature. Man, just do something positive, man. But also, if you see something harmful to somebody, or you're going through something, or you hear something, or something comes across your phone, or whatever, however it may be, if you notice it, man, don't hesitate. It's an emergency line for us, 988. Don't hesitate. Call, text. You don't have to leave your name. You don't have to leave anything. That could be anonymous, or you could do it. You could leave your name,
Yes.
however it be. Just reach out, man, if you're going through struggles, because it's always too late when you don't do it.
Yes, indeed. So continue to Get rest as well. And as the weather is changing and it's warming up, get you some sunlight, please. Go outside, put your feet in the
Yes,
ground when
sir.
it finally clicks over, and get you some grounding. And don't forget to fast, be it Ramadan, be it a 3 day liquid fast, be it 30 days raw, fasting from social media, whatever you have to do to stay at peace or get into a peaceful state. All forms of generational wealth. So focus on your health, man. We're gonna get into our last story of the day, man. That is about the hikers found bodies of teens who are from Lawrenceville at the top of Bell Mountain in Hiawassee. That just sounds native. So yeah, man. The morning of Saturday, March 8th, the mountain is about 90 miles from their home, and the firefighter charged after he's accused of sharing photos of the twin brothers. Scott Curlin, 42, of Hiawassee, Georgia, was charged with misdemeanor obstruction after he was accused of taking photos of the bodies of 19-year-old twin brothers Kadir Malik Lewis and Nazir Rahim Lewis and sharing them publicly, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Let's watch this video and come back and give you our thoughts.
Tonight, a murder-suicide investigation in Georgia, leaving a distraught family with more questions than answers.
We want to know exactly what happened to the twins.
Police say twin brothers Kadir and Nazir Lewis were found dead by hikers on a Georgia mountain earlier this month. The brothers, weeks away from their 20th birthday, each found with gunshot wounds, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, which says their preliminary investigation reveals the deaths to be a murder-suicide.
We knew right away that wasn't true.
But their relatives rejecting that characterization by police, saying the boys were close and had no history of conflict.
They're very protective of each other. I couldn't imagine them hurting each other because I never even seen them get into a fist fight before.
Relatives saying the twins had tickets for a 7 a.m. flight on March 7th from Lawrenceville, Georgia to Boston, where they were set to meet friends. But on March 8th, their bodies were found at the summit of Bell Mountain, 90 miles away from their home and in an area their relatives believe they had never visited.
How they end out in the mountains, they don't hike out there. They've never even been out there. They don't know nothing about Hiawassee, Georgia. They never even heard of Bell Mountains. So how did they end up right there?
Over the weekend, authorities saying autopsies have been completed on the pair, but a medical examiner ruling had not been released because further forensic testing was needed. The Georgia Bureau of Investigations has not disclosed if a gun was found at the scene or how the twins got to the mountain, telling NBC News the investigation is active and ongoing. NBC reached out to family members for more information, but did not hear back.
They had a huge support system. Like, we know them, but they wouldn't do anything like this. Something happened in those mountains, and we want answers.
Priya Sridhar, NBC News.
Yeah, man, we want answers too. It's kind of hard to just dive into this story because all we have is speculation. But I'll tell you one thing, definitely tired of seeing young, handsome brothers, just being taken away from us early, without even being able to figure out what their path will be. This is another instance where we have to let investigators do their job so we can really be able to report really how we feel on the specifics. Just from speculation and hearing their family, it literally it really does feel like they were abducted of some stature. And then after watching so many shows like Fire Country, and you got different shows like Ozark and Reacher, it makes you wonder, were they kidnapped? Why? That's a question that's just going to continue popping up. So, before we do everything like we do anything, we send our prayers and our hearts and our condolences out to the families, and then we pray that that just the truth just comes to light, so family can just get some justice and we can literally give our honest feedback on really what's going on. If they were murdered, I pray that this firefighter, if it was him, that he is sentenced to life. I don't really deal well with capital murder or capital punishment because it's too fast. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure that this person, is connected to somebody, whomever did it. They love somebody, and somebody's gonna miss them and all that. And I want them to feel that because it's hard, when you have young men, taken from you, and then you have people anticipating their arrival. They have people in Boston looking forward to seeing them. You know what I mean? So now they're hurt, and at one point, I'm pretty sure they're calling them nonstop, like, "Yo, what's going on?" Somebody's supposed to pick them up, or somebody's supposed to link with them. Now, on the flip side, you pray in this situation that they weren't doing anything um, crazy, anything out of the norm, anything harmful to somebody else, and this became, the backfire of the situation. Um, all in all, I'm just tired of hearing the stories, seeing the stories, but I know that they won't go dive into full detail of these young men because of who they are and what they are. But these young men have mothers, they have sisters, brothers, family members, and it sucks, to go to a place away from where you live a day before. That would strike a red flag. Why would you go hiking that far away from your crib and you're about to fly out the next day? A lot of times when we're about to travel, we're trying to get, especially that close to leaving, we're trying to make sure we have everything. I mean, that day before, we're not trying to set aside time to go on a hike. That far away from the crib, we might go for a walk around the neighborhood. Or you may say, "Yo, I want to get my steps in, so I'm gonna make sure I walk to the store instead of driving." But most of the time, most Americans, they pack the day before. You know what I'm saying? They still packing at this time. So with that being said, it just makes you wonder when you hear the family. It's hard for family to say, "Oh, they don't know where that is," or "they never been," because you don't know where they've been. If you don't live with
Right.
somebody, you ain't in their pocket, you don't know where they go. But it does seem a little out of the norm. So what we do is we sit back and wait, and the truth always comes to the light. But this is why when we say in our break, and we always offer, the advice or recommendation that you let people know where you are. If you are gonna go hiking, you gonna go trailing, you traveling 90 miles away, let somebody know. You know what I mean? I know you feel grown. I know you want your privacy, but this is why, because it be stories like this that we don't think about, but they pop up. They come across our radar. Man, two young men, 19 years old, murdered. They was just hiking, and it makes you wonder, like, dang, well, what was you doing? You know what I mean? What could you be doing? Hiking supposed to be peaceful. You know what I mean? And then
Right.
you hear stories like this from the family, like they don't even go hiking up there and da 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 da. So as we constantly just continue to see murders and deaths and just crazy stories come across our timelines, um, what you can do when you don't know the intricacies of the story, you can take what you do have and you can kind of put yourself in that predicament. If you have a child, if you have a brother, if you have a sister, if you have whatever, and just try to be a little bit more protective. Try to reach out, if you're going to go hiking, if you're going to do something, keep somebody abreast.
Sure.
And then just above all,
Right.
be empathetic because, a lot of times we don't care about what's going on until it hits your doorstep, and we can't be
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? When it happens to somebody in our community, we got to learn from it. We got to send our hearts, our condolences. We got to put that energy out there, so we can be covered on the back end, because we all out here living, trying to do the best we
Yeah.
can, but life is moving fast. So how you feel about that?
I pretty much, I mean, you pretty much summed it up. On the flip side, it's like, why? I just want to know it because there is a video out. I want y'all to go check that out. It's a video out of the guy that was just taking the pictures. It's just weird how it's still racism in the world.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so I can't really say if he really has anything to do with this case, right?
Right, that's the thing.
He
Yep.
made himself part of the case by just trying to exploit young black men that got their lives taken. That's crazy. So that's what my take on it is. I'm just overwhelmed and tired of the same old, same old. These young men. And that's why I'm I'm in the way I am, whereas I share my location with my loved ones, even whether we going through something or not. I share it so y'all know where I'm at all times, no matter if you check it every day, no matter if you check it every second. Like, you'll know, because stupid stuff like this, man, it leaves you with a wonder, and that causes more stress than anybody, and causing stress and unhealthy situations for his families, so it's a touchy situation. My heart always goes out to their family. I send my condolences, man, and I just pray that this stuff stops soon. Which,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely make you realize that racism is not dead, but also, man, just how they view us. That's why we don't
Yeah,
have to pour it on and be ignorant. That's why we don't have to do no more and looking like animals or looking like we don't have no sense, because they already look at us. It's people out here, not everybody, but there's people out here, as you can see, that look at your death as a joke or as a chance to take a picture or a chance to get some type of satisfaction. Who's to say that he wasn't feeling satisfaction? Like you said, it's not a guarantee that he was literally the one who did it. That could be a distraction, you know what I'm saying? That could be covering for somebody who Then that makes you wonder, do y'all have some type of connection? Or again, you ain't had nothing to do with it. Could have been somebody who did it, a family member, a friend, somebody close, then took them to the mountain. You just don't know. But by that
yeah,
person doing that, it was very disrespectful, for one, to the family. But then two, it was even more
yeah, man.
ignorant.
Keep that
It
way.
was more ignorant. Yeah, definitely will. It was more ignorant on their behalf, because now you put yourself into a case. You know what I mean? Like you said, whether you was in there or not, you bring more stress to the family, and then the family could think they got closer to the finish line, and this could have moved the goalpost so much further. You know what I'm saying? By putting a twist into the case. So, above all, like you said, share that location, do whatever you have to do, have some type of form of communication, and then share these stories. You know what I'm saying? Let it be known. Tell your 19-year-old brother, sister, cousin, mother, like, look, man, it's not safe. This is why we want to know. Nobody's trying to be overprotective. Nobody's trying to be nosy. We literally trying to keep you safe, because
That's
we
it.
want you to live your life. We want you to have a life to live. So, in closing, man, this is the Leaders Only show, digital show and podcast. It's live streamed every Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. We definitely appreciate you joining us today for season 5, episode 22. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to seeing you next week right here, same time, same place. Please just let us know what interests you, and we'll bring it to you in the next show
Yes,
or
sir.
in the future shows. Well, we're brought to you by Would Have Changed Mentoring, Inc. and Tone Drone. I am Samaj.
And I'm Kendall.
So please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Email us at leadersonly22@gmail.com if you have any topics, any people you feel like we should talk to, any stories we should cover, any events that we should be at to bring some more media coverage to it. Please let us know. We would love to hear from you. We'll see you next
Yes,
week at the
sir.
same time, same place. It's always a blessing. We love y'all. And as bro said earlier, protect your immune system, eat clean. If you don't know where to start, please visit www.mentalhealthchef.com. You can follow us below at any one of these social media outlets, and also websites. And lastly, don't forget that August 31st is the 20th year anniversary of the So Focus All White. It'll be in Norfolk. We have a private location. I'm very excited about it. And the invitations, posters, and comic books will go on sale this week.
Yes, sir. So don't hesitate, man. Reach out, get in touch. You better get in touch. You better get in touch.
Yes.
Peace.
Hey man, what's up? Top of the afternoon to all my So Focused family, friends, and all of my Spartan alumni, new and old. It's been a minute, man, but we're back, and we've got a whole lot to celebrate. The All White is making its grand return for its 20-year anniversary, And trust us, we got a venue that's pretty much bigger than ever. We're not just bringing the tradition back and restoring the legacy, we're elevating it. This year, it's more about the party, the legacy, giving back, and celebrating greatness. We're honoring you and our brothers, Kevin Talley and Terrell Whitehead, for their induction into the Spartan Football Hall of Fame, launching scholarships for future Spartans, and we'll be supporting the Green Run High School football team. Oh, and did we mention, I'm in full character because we've got a dope comic book series tied into this event. The storytelling, the energy, the memories, the impact, it's all coming together. We're bringing it back home to Norfolk, where it all started. It's going down Labor Day weekend, so that's your answer. Sunday, August 31st, 2025. Mark your calendars. Go ahead and get the shopping. Go ahead and spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend, because this is an invite-only event. So be on the lookout for that exclusive link to get yours. Stay locked in.